Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Thanks for being here today. Hope you're okay wherever you are. I've got a topic today that I think is going to be really fascinating. It's one that I think is more relevant now that we're spending more time by ourselves, thinking about who we are, what's important to us, and just digging deep into some of those more hidden parts of our personality, and talk about facing what I'm going to call your shadow side. It's the side of yourself that you maybe aren't really releasing to the world, you're not showing everybody, but it's your shadow side, and how recognizing that can actually help you to have a more enriched and express your true self after 60. So that's something I want to talk to you about now. It's based on a video, an article that was written by one of our bloggers, Sherry Sachs. Sherry is a psychiatrist or a medical professional. I'm not sure her exact role, but she works with people in their with their hidden side and helping them to understand their self and their self-identity. And she talks about at the very beginning of her article, which I will link to here, her relationship with one of her clients who came in to see her and said, Sherry, I'm just struggling because I'm having fantasies about my best friend's husband. And it's not like me. I'm a moral person. This is not the real me. And Sherry says, no, of course it's not the real. She didn't say it to her, but she's commenting that that's not the real you that you project to the world, but it is you. It's part of you. You may never act on any of those desires or fantasies or things that you want to do that are out of character, but they are part of you. And then Sherry goes on to talk about how we all have what society or even yourself might consider unacceptable behavior or thoughts or actions. But by understanding that those are all part of you, that you can't deny them without doing harm to yourself and creating a lot of anxiety and even medical health problems, you've got to kind of realize that there are these darker sides of yourself, these things that you might be thinking about or doing are just, well, they're not so much, they're normal in the great scheme of things. Everybody has them. Everybody has them in their lives to one degree or another. So recognizing what they are, bringing them into your reality and understanding and accepting them, and finding ways to express them in a context that's acceptable to the world you live in. That's the challenge we have. So the most important thing to say is that society, especially for women, and maybe in our age group, because we were raised in a different time, but we're as children, but we are meant or told that we are to be compassionate and kind and understanding and brave and just giving. That's kind of the thing that we've always been told. And if you have any desires or any kind of feelings that go against that, it starts to create an incongruence, and we start to feel that's not what I was raised to be like. And so we deny them. We hide our shadow sides, but we all possess them. And I think it's really valuable to even just dig a little deeper now. Let's work together on this during this short video and see what we can discover. Now, Sherry's article is really worth reading because she goes into quite a bit more detail, but I'll just kind of talk generally about the types of things that she wants us to remember. First thing, you are a good person. You're a good person, and you've got a lot to contribute to the world. And not just that, you're just you're kind. You love your family, for example. You have friends in the community. You volunteer. You do all kinds of things. But there may be a side of you that you need to accept in your personality that is more self-centered or even manipulative or unkind, where you have feelings of jealousy or feelings of shame or something that's maybe happened in your life that you've never been able to really bring out. That has actually shaped this shadow side of yourself. Now, yes, we can call a shadow being dark or being unknown, but it's really just that it's unseen. And it's in many cases unaccepted. And as Sherry says, bring it out into the open, find a place to fit it into your world, and then you can become true to yourself. I mean, if there isn't a time in your life where you should be focusing on that, it's right now. I mean, this is the time to really let some of those things go, give yourself forgiveness, give yourself peace. And as I said at the beginning, many of these feelings we've had or desires or issues just may be never ever actualized, never even any intention of actualizing them. But we do live in a world where there are societal guidelines and rules and laws that we have to worry about and be afraid of. Even the thoughts worry us. So we've all heard, sometimes this appears, by the way, in our dreams. Don't know whether you can relate to this or not, but there's a really good book. I forget what it's called now. I'll try to remember the name of it and put it down. It was by a man who was talking about dreams and saying, when you get older, you start to dream more about this shadow side. It comes out. And he calls them demons. Your little demons come out to remind you that you've got something in your back of your mind there that needs resolving, something that needs addressing. And that this is a really good time to not just sort of freak out about not getting back to sleep, but maybe get up, have a cup of tea, sit down and think about it. Now, why did I dream that? Why did I have that dream? Why was that person in my dream? Why did we do this, have this conversation or do this thing? What was it that is in me that needs to be acknowledged and embraced? It's a very, very delicate line, because if you don't do this, and the Sherry does a very good job of talking this way, you're not expressing your honest self, guess what's going to happen? You're going to make yourself sick. You're going to make yourself depressed, sad, anxious, worried. And the extension of that, of course, is that you're going to make yourself physically sick. You're going to have chronic pain, or just very intense stress, which weight gain, which actually is harmful for your health. Sometimes it's insomnia, at an extreme. Maybe there's relationship breakdowns that will result because of this. If you don't come to grips with it yourself, then it's almost like nature. Part of you is going to force yourself to deal with it, and if you don't do it in a way that's constructive and practical and helpful, then it's going to come out in a way that's more harmful to you. So here's 7 ways that Sherry says to face your shadow self. It's a good thing. Number 1, banish the shame. You're a good person. There's no shame. It's okay. Everyone's different. There's an amazing variety of people out there doing all kinds of strange and wonderful things behind closed doors, not hurting anybody, and that's how we are. We're complex as human beings. So no shame. Banish the shame. Whatever someone outside of you is saying, you know what you are. You know your true self. That is the first step towards unconditional acceptance of yourself. It's really, really important that you do that. The second thing is to write it down. Record it or write it down in a journal. It's very useful to do that, because sometimes these thoughts about your shadow self come out in symbols. They come out in words that are not, black and white. They're words that sort of point to the thing sideways. So journaling is really, really a cool thing to do. It helps you to, get some perspective, and then dwell on it, reflect on it. Another thing is to laugh at yourself. Come on. You may, whatever your situation is, whatever it is that you feel is a little dark in your personality, it's probably blown out of proportion by your other part of your brain. Just have a little laugh, just smile at it. Okay, so I do that, whatever. It's not harmful. The next thing is to meditate with a focus on self-compassion. We sometimes meditate with just this desire to stay with the breathing and just relax, use it as a relaxation tool. But there's a specific kind of meditation that you can do where you do focus on self-compassion. We've been so conscious all our lives, haven't we, of being forgiving and understanding and thoughtful of other people in our lives. But, we have to say that we are not perfect. And self-compassion is where it all begins. That is where we can start feeling good about ourselves. The next step in the step of 7 steps to accepting yourself, this hidden self, is to accept your humanness. You're human. You're not perfect. Use the word broken sometimes. When I use that word broken, I sometimes want to cry, because it's just such a powerful word, but we are broken. Think about your past, the things that have affected you, the relationships that have damaged your self-confidence or your self-image. It's not always something that you've decided to do. There's people around you that have influenced you too. But accept your humanity, your humanness, and be at peace with that. It's really, really important. Another thing you can do is to think of your good qualities. Yeah, you may have a couple of things that are challenging or that you might consider dark side, but There's so many things that you're doing that are good for the world and good for yourself and good for the people around you. In fact, it's really interesting. I've worked with some people, I've known people who have dealt with the dark side in a very constructive way. And it's, it's when they made that turning point of like, I'm a good person. I'm okay. I can do these wonderful things to help the world, to help my children, to help, myself. And it's just being human that makes you feel the edges are softer. See your shadow side as a reflection of your power, your honesty, and your passion. It's powerful. And that's why it has such a control over you sometimes. But see it as a source of power, a source of honesty, and a source of passion. And if it gets to the point where you feel like a little bit lost here, talk to someone. Okay, talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor, talk to someone that can understand you. I want to read the last sentence here of Christine's article. And by the way, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to watch more, please subscribe. There's a button somewhere, and press the notification bell, because then you'll know when all of these videos are published. But we'd love to have you subscribe and join our group of people here, our sisters over 60. Really would love to have your support. But here's what Christine says. She says, Sherry Sachs. I'm thinking of two different people, both who are doing good work in this area. This acceptance process is part of the journey of being an elder and wiser woman or person. If we can be brave enough to face our dark side, we can become integrated, whole, and comfortable in our own skin. Remember, Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung, beautiful. So, how do you express your shadow side, your negative thoughts? Does your shadow side scare you, or have you accepted it and learned from it and grown from it? Hope that you've enjoyed this one. This has been an interesting video for me to record, and it's brought back a lot of connections and memories, and just helped me a bit too, even as I've discussed it. So let me know your thoughts about your shadow side. Let's share. Okay, everybody, have a really lovely day wherever you are. Embrace the whole person that you are, the beautiful person that you are, and know that you're loved and respected here. Take good care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.